Okay, so just want to demonstrate to you today how to link an Excel spreadsheet, which we have here, with a model, so that rather than doing the typical drag and move things around to try to look at things, I can actually give this a definite picking position. This is a robot. We've got a gripper on here. Just for picking up a part. Can't show you the part because it's from the automotive industry. And this is a rack here, which there we go. This rack has 4 shelves which hold parts that are on dowels. Where are we here? Just let us zoom a bit better. Dowel pin, our part sits on there, but because our robot is kind of getting close, you can see I've actually need to stagger these shelves. So there, the knuckle of our robot is going to collide with the part above, so we thought we'd step these back about 50mm. And to check we don't get collisions anywhere, I actually want to move the robot from position to position. Nice and easy. I don't want to have to drag it each time. So I'll show you what we've done here in our robot assembly. Under our, I've given the height of our gripper to the floor. Here's our floor, we'll show you that. Okay, we've got the height of our gripper, and then in our main assembly, under our robot, oh no, I think I didn't put it in our robot. Everything's controlled inside here. Okay, so by saying link, choose a file, I've imported these variables from this Excel file. But something that you will notice on this Excel file, because we all love spreadsheets, is it refers to one set of coordinates, but then depending on which rack we're on, we've got different coordinates. And rather than copy paste this every time, I've just done a little horizontal lookup, which is like VLOOKUP, so I can say which position I'd like us to be, and get our robot to position there exactly. So the important thing with these is sometimes it doesn't work with the open, but normally if you change something, you should then save, and then we go into our assembly space and we update. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how we set up these parameters. Okay, so if we look at, here's our 2 main planes, and I've set the center line of our gripper relative to this center plane, and the center line of the gripper relative to this plane. And it comes about that we've got a, if you imagine this like a graph on a sheet of paper, this is our negative zone, negative, negative, positive, 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 negative over here. I'll show you, I think I've summarized that in this spreadsheet here. So here, this is showing the regions that we're operating in. So if we want our gripper to be over here, then both values are going to be negative there, and that's what we're getting here. Okay. I know there's a change in the height of the rack, so I can do this almost automatically. So between each rack, our height here is going up by 300 or 340 in each instance. The X on our rack, and that's the robot X. I'm referring back to our main coordinate system down here. So our robot X is what changes, and our Y and our Z isn't going to change because we don't want the robot moving sideways. Okay, so let's, before I go demonstrate, I will just show you that in our robot under these here. So when you set up this constraint, it's a normal, it's just a normal make constraint. We choose from our plane to our axis, and the offset, rather than putting a value, I refer to the robot Z, and we can do that by clicking this arrow, list the parameters, and this shows all the parameters that we've got in here, and they have come in from our spreadsheet. So if we change our spreadsheet, this updates and our position will update. So let's try it. Okay, so we'll move around so we can see it a bit easier. And let's try let's make rack 1 some more drastic numbers. Okay, let's say plus 500, plus 500. We'll change our angle as well, 90 degrees, and we'll change our height. Okay, so I've updated that there. You always need to have a blank column here. So the way the syntax works or the lookup works from Inventor, when you import these variables, it wants to import every single column here. So in the spreadsheet, you can get away with using just 2 columns, and you don't define the unit. I find that using 2 columns and also defining the unit keeps things clean. But you always want to keep this column completely blank the whole way through the sheet, and then keep any working out that you're doing over there. So yeah, we can do something like that to help us remember that, or color it or something, whatever you want to do there. Okay, just don't put anything in there. All right, so these are our new values we put on rack 1. Let's go into rack 1, and our values updated in our sheet here. Okay, and I'm going to save that. And so now, so in our robot, we go update. I normally do a global update. And didn't like it. Don't you hate it when that happens? So it could be outside the range of the robot there. So I'm just going to make it a more realistic numbers, or make these numbers change by a little bit. 340. Okay. Save that again. Let's try it in the main assembly this time and update. And there we go. So that's moved up to that new position. Let's see that live. We'll go again. Alright, let's make it rack 2 this time. And go up, save it. Back here, update. Okay. If you want to check it, we can measure from here, say 21.4. When we move down, you'll see it'll be 21.4 in the other one. So let's do it. 1. Save. Update. Let's measure that one. 21.4 off that one. Okay, so we know it's moving, and it looks like it's moving right. Fine. So let's go up to the top rack, rack 3. Save that. Back over to here. Do an update, and there it is, picking from up the top. Okay. So now from that we can check our clashing and that sort of thing. I see. I haven't checked this yet. I see we're having some issues there. But this is a good way of being able to move the robot to whatever position that we want. Check for collision and that kind of thing, and not spend a lot of time dragging things around. So I hope that's helped, and feel free to comment or ask me any questions.